Have you ever paused to wonder if the reality around you is truly as it seems? This world, this life, crafted not by the benevolent creator you've been told to trust, but by a cunning impostor, Yaldabaoth, cloaked in deception. These are not whispers of conspiracy, but revelations hidden for millennia in ancient texts, concealed from the light of understanding. A forbidden Gnostic scripture dares to unveil the origin of all creation, a truth too powerful for the world to embrace. In the ancient whispered truths of Gnostic cosmology, a divine tragedy unfolded, a story hidden beneath layers of time and control. Sophia, an emanation of the true God, sought to mirror the act of creation, driven by an unsanctioned yearning. Yet, what emerged was not harmony, but chaos, a malformed and grotesque entity, Yaldabaoth. Born from cosmic dissonance, he bore the predatory visage of a lion fused with the sinuous, treacherous grace of a serpent, a form to haunt the soul's deepest corners. In her shame and sorrow, Sophia cast Yaldabaoth into the abyss, a void teeming with forgotten secrets. Here, cut off from the divine light, Yaldabaoth's arrogance took root. Believing himself the sole god of existence, he declared, "I am God, and there is no other beside me." Does that proclamation echo in your memory? It is not the voice of the god of love, but the tyranny of Yaldabaoth, an impostor who shaped this material world as a counterfeit of divine reality. This is the prison we inhabit, veiled by illusions and populated with Archons, Yaldabaoth's enforcers, who weave a web of ignorance to ensnare humanity. For millennia, this false god has demanded worship, not through love but through fear, control, and deception. And yet, a question lingers. What illusions bind us today? Are the systems we trust, religion, governance, or societal norms, the modern masks of the Archons? Reflect on this. If Yaldabaoth represents the embodiment of illusion, could his dominion over the material world symbolize humanity's spiritual distraction? Perhaps the prison walls are not physical, but built from the very beliefs we have been taught never to question. The Archons are not mere myths whispered in forgotten ages. They are the shadowy architects of a vast prison, binding humanity in chains of illusion. They are Yaldabaoth's agents of despair, weaving threads of chaos and deceit into the very fabric of reality. Every pillar of control, be it religion, politics, or the norms you accept without question, serves their design. Why do they labor so relentlessly? Because they know the truth. Humanity carries an eternal flame, the divine spark, a fragment of the true God hidden within. Imagine Yaldabaoth, the usurper king, consumed by fear of this spark. It is his greatest threat, for if humanity awakens to their boundless power, his reign crumbles to dust. He forged this counterfeit world to suppress your potential, casting himself as a benevolent creator, while his Archons twist perception, enforcing his lies. What if the systems you trust, the rules you follow, and the fears that haunt you are not your own? What if they are the Archons' tools, feeding off your ignorance, thriving on your submission? The divine spark within you is the key. An unstoppable force that, once realized, shatters the illusion and burns away the prison walls. Yaldabaoth and the invisible prison of the soul. Pause for a moment and look deeply into the world around you. Do you feel something is off? This reality, with all its beauty and suffering, is not a gift from a loving higher power. It is a prison, built by a deceiver, Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth didn't just create a prison. He rewrote the narrative, painting himself as a benevolent creator. But what is the truth? In Genesis, when Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, who punished them? It wasn't a god of light. It was Yaldabaoth, desperate to keep humanity in darkness, shackled by ignorance and dependency. The control systems of today. Have you ever wondered why everything in this world seems designed to keep you busy, anxious, and afraid? From societal rules to religion, even social media, all are tools wielded by the Archons, Yaldabaoth's enforcers. They manipulate our perceptions, constructing an artificial reality filled with temptations and threats. Imagine every time you're drawn into a meaningless online argument or consumed by fear from the news, you're strengthening their system. This isn't just a conspiracy. It's a meticulously designed system of exploitation meant to make you forget the divine spark within you, heaven or the greatest prison. They promise you heaven, but what is that heaven really? Part of the plan. Think about it. According to Gnostic teachings, death isn't liberation. When your body gives out, your soul doesn't ascend to peace. It's intercepted, manipulated by the Archons with illusions of loved ones or feelings of guilt. You're sent back into the cycle of reincarnation, stripped of memory, stripped of power, and trapped once again. The invisible chains. You believe obedience is virtue, that rules are salvation. But who made those rules? Who told you these chains were protection? Yaldabaoth has made us believe we are weak, that we need salvation from an external entity. But the truth is, everything you need has been within you all along. The divine spark Yaldabaoth can never touch. See through the illusion. This reality isn't everything. It's a veil, an artificial system designed to keep us from perceiving the greater truth. But you are not a victim. Gnostic teachings say, liberation begins with awareness, seeing through the veil and recognizing the divine spark within you. Do you feel it? A stirring, a call, a truth you've always known but feared to face. This isn't just the Gnostic story. This is your story. The veiled hierarchy of creation. Step into the labyrinth of the cosmos, where reality is far more intricate than the stories you've been told. Gnostic wisdom reveals a universe layered like an enigmatic tapestry, each thread concealing truths beyond the veil of perception. Forget the simplistic dichotomy of heaven and hell. Those are mere shadows on the wall of a greater, hidden reality. At the pinnacle lies the pleroma, the divine fullness, a realm of pure light and infinite knowledge where the true God dwells. It is perfection, untainted by the corruption below. Between the pleroma and the material world is the kenoma, the void, a chasm of chaos and illusion. Here, the Archons, the malevolent emissaries of Yaldabaoth, weave their prison of lies. Like cosmic bureaucrats, they manage layers of deceit, crafting illusions that ensnare the soul. These entities, with their limited intellect but immense power, enforce the will of Yaldabaoth. Their tools are not swords but systems, hierarchy, fear and control, wrapping humanity in the chains of false beliefs. The counterfeit world descend further into the web of existence, and you arrive at the material world, Yaldabaoth's domain. This is not the cradle of divine creation, but a counterfeit, a flawed shadow mimicking the divine reality. The laws of physics, the passage of time, even the cycles of life and death are nothing more than constructs, programs designed to tether humanity to this realm. Here, the soul, a fragment of the true God, resides like a caged bird, longing to return to the pleroma but held back by invisible barriers. Imagine a world where every struggle, every yearning is a thread binding you tighter to the illusion. The Archons, like cunning gatekeepers, stand at every threshold, whispering fears and temptations to divert the soul from its ascent. They thrive on ignorance, for a soul unaware of its origin remains a prisoner of their design. Sophia's fall and the hidden spark. But amidst this darkness, there is a beacon. Sophia, the Aeon whose journey reshaped creation itself. In her divine ambition to create without the consent of the fullness, she gave birth to Yaldabaoth, the malformed architect of this flawed world. Yet from her sorrow sprang hope. Sophia, recognizing her error, planted a fragment of the divine light within humanity, a secret spark, hidden and eternal. This light, this divine essence, is what terrifies Yaldabaoth and his Archons. It is the seed of liberation, the key to dismantling their prison. Sophia's wisdom manifests as intuition, a quiet voice urging humanity to question, to seek, and to remember. She does not confront with force, but empowers through insight, weaving her guidance into the very fabric of the soul. Like a lighthouse piercing the storm, her essence illuminates the path home. Symbols and reflections. Look around you. Can you see the parallels between the Archons and the systems of control in our world? Think of bureaucracies that bury the soul in endless red tape, or technologies that offer connection while fostering dependency. The Gnostic texts remind us that the material world is filled with distractions designed to keep us from seeking the truth. The Archons are not ancient myths. They are reflections of the forces that govern and constrain our lives even today. And what of Sophia's spark? You feel it when you look beyond the surface of existence, when a moment of stillness unveils a deeper truth, or when an act of courage shakes the foundation of fear. These are the whispers of Sophia, guiding you back to the divine. Through these symbols and stories, Gnostic teachings remind us the prison is not unbreakable, and the spark within us is not extinguished. The journey to liberation begins with seeing through the illusion and trusting the light within. Sophia's wisdom calls to all who are willing to listen. Let's connect some dots, shall we? Across the sands of time and the breadth of continents, echoes of a hidden truth resound in the myths and teachings of ancient civilizations. Could it be that these tales, seemingly disconnected, are all threads of a single tapestry, revealing the same haunting truth? The Gnostics taught us that humanity is imprisoned within a false reality, crafted by a tyrannical being. And when we peer into the myths of Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and the Americas, the parallels become almost too striking to ignore. Begin in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The Sumerians, bearers of the first written words, passed down the Enuma Elish, their creation story. In this tale, the god Marduk slays Tiamat, the primordial chaos, and forms the world from her fragmented body. But this act is no gesture of divine love, it is one of conquest. Marduk demands loyalty, ruling with an iron fist, his dominion secured through fear. Does this not echo the story of Yaldabaoth, a self-proclaimed god shaping a world to serve his own ends? Shift to the sacred sands of Egypt, where duality governs the cosmos, Ma'at, the force of divine order, and Isfet, the embodiment of chaos. The god Set, the eternal usurper, mirrors Yaldabaoth in his ceaseless quest for dominance. The Egyptian Book of the Dead unveils a treacherous journey, souls navigating trials, illusions, and deceptions in a desperate bid to transcend the false world. Replace the Egyptian symbols with Gnostic teachings, and the narrative aligns seamlessly. The soul's perilous struggle against forces determined to suppress its divine spark. Now venture eastward, where Hinduism and Buddhism describe samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Do you recognize the pattern? This unending loop, fueled by ignorance and attachment, keeps souls tethered to the material world. Yet liberation, moksha, does not come through worshipping gods, but through self-realization and detachment. The creator deity Brahma, often revered, is also depicted as a lesser being, subordinate to higher cosmic principles. Again, we see the shadow of Yaldabaoth, a creator but not the ultimate truth. Even the indigenous wisdom of the Americas speaks of this pattern. The Hopi tell of Kachinas, spiritual entities interacting with humanity, some guiding, others deceiving. The Mayans and Aztecs believed their gods created humans not out of compassion, but as servants, laborers, to sustain their divine agenda. Do these stories not unveil the same narrative, a manipulative creator, humanity bound in servitude? But here lies the most profound secret. Liberation is possible, and it lies within. Across all these cultures, true freedom is found not through blind faith, but through knowledge, an awakening to the deeper workings of reality. In Mesopotamian lore, Enki defies divine order to grant wisdom to humanity. In Egypt, Thoth, the god of knowledge, guides seekers toward enlightenment. The Hindu Upanishads proclaim jnana, knowledge, as the key to breaking free from samsara. And the Gnostics? They name this awakening gnosis, an experiential truth that shatters illusions and reveals the divine spark within. Why do these parallels matter? Because they speak to a shared human experience, a universal recognition that the world is not what it seems. Could it be that these myths, spread across time and space, are reflections of a greater truth, a truth buried beneath the illusion of the material world? And if so, what else remains hidden in the shadows, waiting for you to uncover? In the boundless expanse of the pleroma, a divine realm of infinite light and harmony, Sophia, an aeon born of the true God, sought to create. But her act, driven by an unrestrained yearning to manifest without the divine's consent, unraveled the balance of creation. From her misaligned intent emerged Yaldabaoth, a malformed and chaotic entity bearing the countenance of a lion and the coils of a serpent. His very essence pulsed with ignorance and arrogance. Cast into the void, Yaldabaoth declared himself the supreme god, his voice resounding in the void like a deceiver crowned in shadows. This was no mere accident. It was a rupture that set the stage for the material prison we now inhabit. In his delusion, Yaldabaoth crafted a counterfeit world, a dim mirror of the pleroma. He was not the architect of life, but a fabricator of chains. Yet Sophia, the silent orchestrator, would not leave her creation abandoned. From her divine essence, she planted a fragment of light within humanity, a divine spark that whispers of our true origin and latent power. Throughout history, echoes of this tale have surfaced, hidden in myths and legends. Consider Prometheus, who defied the gods to grant humanity the fire of knowledge, or the serpent of Eden, vilified yet bearing the wisdom Sophia intended to awaken humanity. These stories, scattered across cultures, are threads in a tapestry of suppressed truths. When Yaldabaoth fashioned the first humans, Adam and Eve, he sought to keep them ignorant, their divine spark obscured. But Sophia intervened subtly, her wisdom coiled within the serpent's whispered words. When Eve tasted the fruit of knowledge, it was not humanity's fall, but its first step toward liberation. Yaldabaoth's wrath was a desperate attempt to shroud the truth, a reminder of his fragile dominion. Even now, Sophia's presence lingers, a quiet yet insistent force. Her voice calls to those who challenge the chains of oppressive systems, manifesting through visionaries and seekers across epochs. From mystics who dared to question authority to revolutionaries who defied tyranny, her wisdom flows like an undercurrent beneath the surface of human history. Sophia's gift, gnosis, is not knowledge bound in books or doctrines, but an intimate recognition of the divine essence within. It is the shattering of illusions and the unveiling of our true nature. To embrace it is to see beyond the material facade, to touch the infinite, and to remember that we are not captives, but bearers of light. Yaldabaoth, the unseen tyrant, operates in shadows, crafting an intricate web of illusions to ensnare humanity. His power thrives not in truth, but in the deception that blinds his subjects to their divine heritage. A being cloaked in arrogance, he whispers falsehoods into the fabric of reality, claiming dominion through fear and manipulation. Sophia, the luminous guide, is the star in the abyss, her whispers of wisdom echoing in the hearts of those who dare to listen. She is the force that transcends time, planting the seeds of truth within humanity, urging us to awaken and remember the divine spark that cannot be extinguished. The Bible is no ordinary text. It is a cipher for the awakened, its pages filled with riddles deliberately veiled by centuries of silence. To the untrained eye, it tells tales of creation and salvation, but for those who dare to decode its depths, it reveals a narrative of manipulation, a grand design to imprison the soul within a counterfeit reality. The soul's journey is no ordinary path. It is a labyrinth of trials, each realm of the Archons a shadowed gatekeeper to the light beyond. In this odyssey, the soul is a phoenix rising from the ashes of illusion, defying the storm of lies that binds it. With every barrier shattered, it edges closer to the divine realm, where truth and freedom await. Across the ages, echoes of the Gnostic story appear in the myths of ancient lands. The Egyptians spoke of perilous journeys through the afterlife, not unlike the soul's passage through the realms of the Archons. The Upanishads of India whispered of moksha, liberation from the cycle of ignorance and attachment. Even the Mayans saw humanity as trapped by the whims of cosmic architects. These tales, scattered across time, weave a universal truth. The battle for liberation is as old as creation itself. Gnostic teachings also emphasize that this isn't a solitary journey. Throughout history, individuals have awakened to the truth and shared their knowledge, creating ripples that challenge the system. Socrates, forced to drink poison for challenging societal norms. Giordano Bruno, burned at the stake for daring to unveil cosmic truths, and countless others whose names history has erased, all stood against the tide of ignorance. Their persecution was not a coincidence, it was a pattern. The Archons thrive on division and ignorance, and anyone who unites people around the truth becomes a target. So how do you break free? The Gnostic path to liberation involves several key principles. Imagine your soul as a bird trapped in a gilded cage, deceived into believing the bars are its home. To escape, you must first reject the lies that have been fed to you by institutions, systems, and false authorities. Second, cultivate inner knowledge. Seek the truth within yourself and trust the divine spark that Sophia planted in you. Third, recognize the material world for what it is, a distraction, not your destiny. And finally, confront the Archons. This isn't about fighting them physically, it's about resisting their control mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The Gnostics didn't promise an easy path, but they did promise freedom. Their teachings, buried for centuries and branded as heresy, have survived because they resonate with something deep within us. They remind us that we are more than flesh and bone, more than prisoners of a flawed creation. We are fragments of the divine, trapped in a counterfeit reality, but capable of awakening and returning to the fullness of the true God. Look at the world through the eyes of awakening. The chains that bind you are not destiny, they are illusions, crafted to keep you here. But you don't have to accept this. Your future depends on whether you dare to step out of the shadows and claim the light. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Your time, your attention, and your curiosity mean everything. If this resonated with you, if it sparked questions or challenged what you've been taught, then you're already on the path to awakening. Stay curious, stay questioning, and remember you're not alone in this journey. See you in the next video.